Imagine a world where dispatch patients receive medical care from the comfort of their own homes, cutting costs and improving satisfaction. In our current medical care system, this could not be farther from the truth, as many patients often go back and forth from hospitals to receive post-operation care. Dispatch strives to make this a reality through their bridge care system. The Machine Consulting Group consists of me, Lila Botor, Mimi Bricker, Ben Lamb, Michelle Mala, Drew Carlson, and Wyatt Ellis. We strongly encourage that you partner with Humana and Blue Shield California as your insurance companies. Partnerships between innovative healthcare providers and insurance companies can be critical in improving the medical care system as in total. These strategic partnerships align with value-based care goals and strengthen member engagement, which in turn attracts customers who value convenience and affordability. Today, Mimi will be going over the target market that you were looking for these customers, followed by Drew, who will go over the long-term growth potential of this project, Vishal, who will cover the financials of undergoing this project, Ben, who will talk about how their values align with yours, and finally, Wyatt, who will go over the conclusion. Finally, I'll pass it on to Mimi to start off with the target market.
Thank you, Lila. So first, I'm going to be identifying the ideal customers that Dispatch Health already has. These individuals avoid the ER, and this could be from a multitude of different reasons. A lot of the time, it's mobility limitations, but it could also just be because they don't like the presence of a doctor or a doctor's office. So that is why Dispatch Health offers Bridge Care Health. And then also, these individuals need medical assistance, and 50% of Dispatch Health patients are 65 years or older and taking around 15 medications. Now we're going to look at the Humana ideal customers. So Humana expands across all 50 states, and they're generally these patients live in safer neighborhoods and have access to quality food. Members are usually on average 60 years, and they have two complex diseases and taking around three medications. Despite these numbers being lower than what Dispatch Health patients usually are, it is important to build loyalty because the complications that these patients may see later on in their years, it's important to have this relationship with Dispatch Health so they can have someone to go to. Now we're going to look at Blue Shield. So Blue Shield is started in California, and usually patients live in food deserts and they have limited access to like healthy activities. Blue Shield members' average age is around 70 years old and have six complex diseases and are usually taking around 10 medications, which does align more with Dispatch Health. Now we're going to be looking at the Medicare and Medicaid around the states and the total enrollment for them. So as you can see, California is leading with the enrollment for Medicaid with 12,439,804 enrollments, followed by New York and then Texas. And for Medicare, we see similar results. California is again having the most enrollments with 6,888,647, with Florida and Texas falling behind. With these numbers in mind, I'm now going to pass it to Drew, who's going to talk about the potential for these numbers to grow.
Thanks, Mimi. According to many sources in the US, we see the population of people over the age of 65 from now until 2050 to grow upwards of 46%. Right now we're at 58,000 and we're looking at 82,000 in the future. Moving on, we see how Blue Shield of California has 4.8 million members. Along with the rest of the US population, the population in California is projected to move up as well from 11 to 15. According to the California Department of Aging, we see that 1 in 4 Californians will be over the age of 60 by 2040. On the other side, we see Humana. Humana has a projected 17 million members, offering Medicare in all 50 states as well as Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. We see that they also offer Medicaid in 6 states, with Illinois, South Carolina, and Florida in the 16 to 20% range, Ohio in the 21 to 25% range, and as well as Louisiana and Kentucky that have greater than 25% of their population requiring Medicaid. Moving on, we see that Dispatch Health is unique. They specialize in in-home care and are one of the only companies trained specifically to help the elderly and people who are less mobile. They're also first to the market and have worked out market kinks and know how to expand and build more revenue. Moving on, we see Dispatch as an authentic company. They deliver trusted, compassionate care to all in the comfort of their own home. In the healthcare industry, a 30 to 50% net promoter score is average. We see Dispatch Health with a 93% net promoter score, which shows how satisfied their customers are and how much they'd approve of Dispatch Health to their friends. Now I'll pass it to Vishal to describe the financials.
Thanks, Drew. So taking a look at this visual summary we created, we based it off of financial attractiveness and long-term market potential. As you can see, all or most channel partners are financially attractive, as well as they also do have positive potential for long-term growth. It was a tough decision narrowing it down to two channel partners, but we ended up making the decision of choosing Blue Shield of California and Humana for the reasons on the next various slide. So the number one reason why we chose Blue Shield of California is because that Dispatch is going to receive 100% of revenue from Blue Shield of California. Now, this is going to relate to a contribution margin of $3,200 per visit to Dispatch in contribution margin. And this is also going to, in turn, relate to 80% of revenue being able to go towards covering fixed costs and profit. Next, for Humana, they have a lower contribution margin. However, they still generate $160 to $200 per visit. And with that, the revenue still covers variable costs, creating a positive contribution margin. For a financial trade-off, as we just talked about, Humana does have a lower contribution margin, but they do, in fact, have a large membership base throughout the United States, and it's already established. Rather than looking at the per unit contribution margin, we went ahead and calculated the total contribution margin for both Medicaid and Medicare for Humana. And this will generate approximately $3.3 billion in total contribution margin for Dispatch Health. And in summary, we believe that and now the financial alignment with Dispatch, Blue Shield of California has one of the highest contribution margins, and this will help to enhance Dispatch Health as a social enterprise, allowing them to make more frequent and increased investments. Similarly with Humana, they also align with Dispatch financially as they allow for more equitable and accessible healthcare across the board. While doing so, they also increase revenue and long-term growth with the potential market growth. And through this, they also can just invest more into contributing betterness into everyday society with their increased cash volume. Now, with all the finances, I'm going to pass it on to Ben to talk about how these channel partners align with Dispatch.
Yeah, thank you, Vishal. So we understand that you are more than just a medical provider, but also a social enterprise that is focused on expanding access to healthcare, reducing costs, and also improving patient outcomes. These values align directly with the missions of both Humana and Blue Shield California. By partnering with these two organizations, Health can scale its impact while continuing to provide high quality in-home care that benefits the patients, but also the healthcare system as a whole. Now we're going to dive deep into each of these providers and go over how each of them provide value-based care, starting with Humana. So Humana has been shifting away from the traditional fee-for-service model and towards value-based care, with their focus being on preventative care and reducing hospital admissions and long-term patient health, which aligns perfectly with Dispatch mission. Additionally, Humana's large Medicare and Medicaid populations benefit from more accessible and convenient care options. Now to move on to Blue Shield. Blue Shield California is not just your standard private insurance company, but it operates as a mission-driven nonprofit healthcare plan with a commitment to making healthcare more affordable and accessible. A major way they do this is by capping their revenues at 2% and reinvesting their additional revenue back into the company with improvements in healthcare quality and reducing costs and expanding their patient base. So together, this partnership between Humana and Blue Shield California, centered around a patient-first, value-based care in the comfort of one's home, can transform the healthcare industry as a whole. And now, to bring all these points together, I'm going to hand it off to Wyatt.
Thanks so much, Ben. So yeah, as we can see, Humana and Blue Shield California are the best partners to have for Dispatch Health. This is because their target market is people who are a little older and have complex issues, which is perfect for bridge care. They have a huge projected growth and a huge population, and they already have a high satisfaction rate, which will only continue to grow the population and users. They also have some of the highest contribution margins, which will increase cash flow and will help align new investments in social issues that align with Dispatch Health. They also bring value care and access to care that is really important to Dispatch's total goal. And that's why on the next slide, joining them you'll be able to revolutionize healthcare delivery for your customers, and together you'll be able to enhance the customer experiences and be the future of personalized, affordable healthcare for the entirety of the United States. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.